Director General, Mr. Gilbert Hundo, Secretary General of the Conference, Honorable Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I would like to thank you for having entrusted me with this honorable duty. On a personal note, this appointment is a proud moment for Moldova. This recognition motivates us to push forward with even greater dedication and commitment, ensuring that we meet and exceed the expectations placed upon us. Please be assured that my fellow officers and I will spare no effort to guide the work of the conference in accordance with its rules and principles, as well as those of this noble organization. In that regard, I shall rely on your valuable support and contribution to ensure that this session of the conference yields the results we all expect from it in pursuit of ILO's mandate and to benefit all of its constituents. Our next task is the election of the vice presidents of the conference in accordance with Article 3, Paragraph 2 of the Standing Orders of the International Labour Conference. The clerk of the conference, Mr. Luca Bormioli, will read the names of the candidates proposed by various groups. Please.
Thank you. The nomination of the vice presidents of the conference are as follows. For the government group, Mr. Julai Moyo, Minister for Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare of Zimbabwe. For the employers group, Mr. Rajiv Dubey from India, and from the workers group, Madame Béatrice Lestic, France.
Thank you. I'm therefore pleased to invite my fellow officers to come up and join me on the podium. On to the next item. It is now time to receive the nominations of the officers of the government, employers, and workers groups. These groups are, of course, autonomous in their choice, and I should like to draw your attention to the screen behind me, where the names of those concerns are displayed. Thank you. Our next task is the election concerns the constitution of the composition of the standing committees and technical committees which will consider items on the agenda of the conference. The standing orders of the conference provide for the establishment of the following standing committees: the General Affairs Committee, the Credential Committee, the Drafting Committee, the Committee on the Application of Standards, the Finance Committee. As regards to the General Affairs Committee, its composition corresponds to the composition of the government body. It is therefore composed of all regular and deputy government members of the government body, and employers and workers, regular and deputy members nominated by the respective groups. I kindly ask the Secretariat to display the names of the officers of the committee on the screens in the room. Concerning the Credentials Committee, the group has informed the Secretariat of the nominations of its members for endorsements by the plenary. I kindly ask that they now be displayed on the screen in the room. Moving to the next. With regards to the Drafting Committee, in accordance with Article 9 of the Standing Orders, its composition shall be determined by the committee, which refers to the text to the Drafting Committee. At this session, that will be the Standard Setting Committee. In reference to the Committee on the Application of Standards, the slides on the screen also include the names of its officers. The full provisional composition of this committee, pending its final approval by the committee at its first sitting, has been published on the conference website. Lastly, the Finance Committee of the government delegates is composed, as its name suggests, of all the government delegates to the conference. There is therefore no need to register for this committee, and I kindly ask the names of the officers to be shown on the screens in the room. In addition to the standing committees, the conference may wish to establish the following technical committees to consider and report on, respectively, items number 4, 5, and 6 on the agenda. A standard setting committee on the protection against biological hazard. A recurring discussion committee on the strategic objective of the fundamental principles and the right at work. And a general discussion committee on decent work and care economy. Once again, the provisional composition of all committees, pending its final approval by the committees and their respective first sittings, has been published on the conference website. If there are no objections, may I take it that the conference approves the establishment of these committees in their composition. So approved. Distinguished delegates, the next business today concerns the suspension of certain provisions to the standing orders of the conference, with a view to facilitate the special sitting to be held on 6th of June on the situation of workers of the occupied Arab territories. These suspensions relate to the time limit for speeches and possibility for the delegates to deliver separate statements on the appendix to the Directors General report on the other parts of the report. If there are no objections, may I take it that the conference approves the provisional formalities set out in the document. So approved. On to the next item. In accordance with Article 2, Paragraph 2K, the standing orders of the conference, the governing body has invited certain international non-governmental organizations to be represented at the present session of the conference. It is understood that it will be for the conference to consider their request to be present at a committee's dealings with items on the agenda in which they expressed a particular interest. In accordance with Article 36, Paragraph 6 of the standing orders, the conference may wish to invite the organizations listed on the website of the conference to be represented in the committees concerned. If there are no objections, may I take it that the conference approve the proposed invitations. So it approved. Distinguished delegates, having concluded our administrative business for the sitting, and with your indulgence, I would like to say a few remarks on the high expectations we share for the work of our conference in the coming 2 weeks. As labor ministers, union leaders, employers representatives from around the world, we are at the forefront of building just and equitable societies. Whether we are boosting employment, addressing informality, reforming institutions, or promoting gender equality, often, most of the time with limited resources, we are more effective when we reflect and collaborate on these challenges together. The International Labour Conference provides us with invaluable opportunity. Each year, we gather here to share insights, find inspiration, and develop solutions collectively. It is a privilege for the Republic of Moldova to chair this conference and facilitate these crucial exchanges. I wish us all a successful conference. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great honor to give the floor to my good friend, Mr. Gilbert Fursun Hundo, the Director General of the ILO, so that he may present his vision for the world of work. Likewise, we look forward to hearing his thoughts on the work of this conference session, as well as the presentation on his report.